that me?
Yeah, it's you.
Oh, okay. So I want to talk about pop music. No, I don't want to talk about pop music. I want to talk about something that's causing me some problems over the last 2 years. There's a lot of this work from home with commission, meaning you go out to a garage or a health food shop or a spa shop and you work for them, but you go out on the road and on Facebook, turn around and try and find sales so you can get commission. And then there is working in an office, or working in a bank, or working in a mall. So that's the normal Joe that goes out to work in the normal fashion. So for me, job with an employer, and that could be the mall, or it could be a gas station, or it could be with a call centre anywhere in Davao, or it could be a bank, or it could be an insurance company. You go to an office or you go to a workplace, and you work in that environment for 8-10 hours. You possibly get 2 days off a week, or you might only get 1 day off a week because your second day off you want to earn overtime, so you want to increase your money. So the benefits for me are that when you sign up for that job, so you've been for the interview, you get a job description, it tells you your hours of work, it tells you your rate of pay. You get benefits like you get SSP, which is pension. You get help with the big preferential loans if the company is big enough to turn around and help you buy property. You also turn around and you get your overtime, you get your bi-monthly or monthly salary coming through, you get some holiday pay, you get sick pay, you get an HR department that will help you if you've got any personal problems or anything like that. And it's very, very good. Now there are different areas that you work, so if you work in the mail you'll be at the bottom end of the structure on salary. If you work for a bank or a call centre you'll be at the top. If you work for a teacher or you work for a government, then you also get GSI, which is a different type of insurance, but that's only for teachers or government workers or government employees. So for me, that is a bonus that you actually go to work for somebody. If you're online and you're doing stuff online at that place, if the computer goes down, they will fix it. If there's no PLDT or no Globe or no Dito, they fix it. But you still get paid, because you've gone to work. You've got up in the morning, you've got dressed, you've got in a jeep, you've got in a taxi, you've walked, you've gone down the road, and you've started work. A bit like this man here, he's gone to work. Yeah? Hi Koya. And he gets paid because he's come to work. Okay? Now, they've got lots of benefits. However, there are some downsides of coming to work. You might not like where you're working. You might not like some of the things the company wants you to do. You might not like some of your work colleagues, your team leader, your manager, your owner, your boss. You might not like any of those, but you put up with that because you get paid, or you look for another job if you don't like the person. So they are the downsides, which is limited. So if the computer doesn't work, you still get paid. If you turn around and there's electrical brownout, you still get paid. If there's an earthquake, you still get paid. Yeah, if they want you to go and do courses, you still get paid. Okay, so that's my short synopsis of working for somebody rather than working online, or working for somebody doing commission-based work. So let's deal with working with a firm like a motor company, or a herbalist, or a teacher's course online that wants you to go out and sell their courses and sell their herbs and sell their chocolate or sell their cars so that you actually get commission. That's quite difficult to sell Toyotas or Nissans or Almiras or whatever when people aren't buying cars and when the garages are struggling. And what actually happens is you work for that person not for a base salary, you work for that person because you're commission based. You only get paid if you get the sales. And I knew somebody like that, and she didn't do too good. She tried selling coffee sachets, and you could buy coffee sachets, same coffee sachets, she was selling at 400 peso, but you could buy them in the coffee shop behind me for 299 peso. So there was a saving there if you just come out and did your own homework. So there are lots of works. The downside is you don't get a pension, you don't get medical, you don't get assistance with housing benefit or travel or your life. You just get your commission, and it's living from hand to mouth, living from hand to mouth. So would I do it? No, personally I wouldn't do it. There are a lot of people trying to do it, and there are a lot of people on Marketplace and Facebook trying to sell combat trousers, herbalists, different types of glasses on the Marketplace. Buy one, get one free, bog off. Not clever really, because they're struggling, and they're struggling because people don't have the money. So then the third option is you work online. Now this one I've got a little bit of experience about for over the last 2 years. So online you can work for a company, and they have two types. You have an office-based online where you go to work, which is in point one of mine, which I think is the best option because you get the best benefits. If you work online and that company turns around and wants you to do online sales, online teaching, coffee latte, Monday, it's 100 peso. There we go, coffee. So if you work online, you'll go and sign up, they'll give you a contract, which is very, very basic. But remember, if the company is not in the Philippines, yeah, it doesn't have to comply with Filipino law. If it's in, you know, if it's outside the UK or outside the US, it doesn't have to comply with employment regulations of that country. So if you work for a company, say, let's take teaching for an example, you go online, do some teaching, they'll turn around and say, you've got to do this amount of classes, this is what we can do for you. You can work from 8 o'clock in the morning to midnight, and you'll have teacher training or teacher help, and you will turn around and earn X amount of money per lesson. You'll go through, start at 8, 8:30, you'll get another student turn up, 9 o'clock, another student turn up, and you teach those students all the way through the day. And as you're teaching them, you get paid a salary, and you get paid roughly 100 pesos per class, which is good. You're right, it's very, very good, and it works very, very nicely. Until things start to change within the working environment for the company, whether that company is based in Thailand, America, UK, France, Germany, China, yeah, Japan. Those companies can actually do one thing. They can turn around and give you incentives for attendance, getting good comments, getting 5-star rating from your students, achieving your lessons, being on time to your lessons. So each lesson you have, and if you've got 10 lessons, you're on time 10 times, you'll turn around and you'll get good salary. If you're late, you will turn around and pick up a fine. And you know that when you start. But the thing is, what they don't turn around and tell you is that if the applications that you're using online, because you need to be online, if PLDT or Globe or Dito have a problem with their online connection, and you don't meet the 30 megabytes per second, and you don't meet the i5, i7 standard for the teaching, you will be fine. It's not your fault because PLDT have a problem with their system or Globe have a problem with their system, but you pick up the penalty from the company. They will fine you. And as contracts go on and on and on, and it becomes more and more difficult, and you do then turn around and find you end up having more and more penalties. I'm just smiling at Annie. You get more and more penalties, and then all of a sudden you're getting charged 45 peso for being late because of your connection. You'll get charged 45 peso if you don't leave a comment. You get charged 45 peso if somebody doesn't like your teaching style. So you turn around and you get penalised for doing the job. The other thing is you don't get sickness. So if you are sick, you don't earn any money. If you booked your class and you can't make that lesson because you're really sick, you will be fined for not turning up. You don't get pension payment. You don't get assistance with medicals. You don't get the things that a full-time employer will give to you. So you can work from home. Good benefits are you can wake up when you want to. You're in the environment that you like. Downside is you go on Facebook and you have to talk to people that are having the same problems you're having, and they don't seem to be resolved, and they're not being resolved. So friends you make online turn around and say, oh, I've not been paid for the last 5, 6, 7 weeks. So do you keep working? In my opinion, no. If somebody's going to pay you, they should honour the contract that they're going to pay you on day 15 or day 30, bi-monthly or full monthly. Not sit around and say, oh, there's a problem with your bank, which does happen. Or there's a problem with your internet, we cannot transfer the funds, which is sometimes a problem. So there are these issues that creep into working online. It has the benefits, yes, you're at home. Yes, you're there with your family. But unless you actually work for a reputable company that you start in an office-based job and they ask you if you can work from home and you have the same benefits and you have the same information and you have the same medical and you have the same coverage, that's great. But if you're teaching for a company in the UK or France or China or America and you're teaching in China, you're teaching in Philippines, they can move the contracts, they can change the terms and conditions because they're not beholden to the law, the employment law, because they're not based here. So would I recommend online work? Sometimes. If you've found a good employer for the last 2 years and you're working for them and they're very, very good, then good for you. If you're working for somewhere, let's take China for instance, China is going through a whole new rules and regulation changes on online teaching and online insurance and online education, because they want certain things to be in their education policy, like the CCP. In Vietnam, they want to turn around, they have good education, but they're also going through this online change that they want their political views put into their teaching policies, i.e. about communism. Well, you don't have that in the Philippines if you're working in the Philippines. You have a democracy. You don't have communism. If you're working in, say, an Arab state and you're working for a teaching company in Saudi Arabia, they want the Quran, they want the Muslim state, they want that side of that religion in the education process, which becomes quite difficult. So after 2 years of looking at it, I thought it was time to put down this vlog. There are good jobs out there, you might not be able to find them, but there are good jobs and good companies in the Philippines that look after the Philippine employer and employee. but there are some overseas companies that don't. They're looking after themselves because they're governed by the rules of their country, which then will affect you. And the reason that I'm putting this is because I've been looking at Facebook, and there's lots of people on Facebook that are being hurt because they're not being paid by their teaching company outside the Philippines. They're working honestly above board. They're doing what they've been being asked to do, but they're not actually getting paid. And I feel sorry for those people. But be wary, guys. So the subscribers I've got here, you need to share that with your friends and family. It's good to work online if the company is reputable and it's here in the Philippines. Working for an outside the Philippines company could end up you working but not receiving any money, not receiving any education. You have to attend online school and online training courses and online education courses for the company, and that turns around and can take you 1, 2 or 3 hours a week extra to the curriculum, extra to what you're actually trying to do on sales, marketing, teaching, insurance, education, whatever. So, for me, I would support working for a company that gives you the benefits in the Philippines: medical, pension, health, that's going to look after you when you get to 55 years of age. Look at the long term, not the short term. Take care. From me, Smiley Miley, outside, tea coffee bean on a Monday.